everybody. Here, it's been a while. We have not discussed a lot of cases, but Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, which is a 15-year-old boy that's been missing from Hendersonville, Tennessee. But before we get too far into this case, I did want to bring up a few cases that I've been covering. One is a case of a girl that disappeared on the same day as Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, and her name was Madeline Soto, and her mother Jennifer Soto. Her mother Jennifer Soto's boyfriend, Stefan Stearns, is accused of doing the unthinkable to this child since she was 8 years old and unaliving her as a result of that. And now we're learning the mom has immunity. A lot of people believe that Jen Soto should be held to account for her daughter and putting her daughter into harm's way. I'm not sure how many people have heard of this case, but it is a gruesome, disgusting case with this woman's boyfriend. I'm not sure how she thought it was okay for him to share bedrooms and beds and stuff like that. We're not going to go into the sensitive nature of this case other than discussing the immunity agreement that Osceola County Sheriff's Department gave Jen Soto when she didn't even request it and didn't even have an attorney. And this is going to prevent her from ever being held accountable for her daughter, Madeline Soto, ever again. Now, on a different note, and in a little bit of politics, I'm not sure how many people heard Trump's friend in Florida, Alfie Oakes, was raided. His home and his produce company raided. Now, is this a potential backlash from President Trump being elected, or is this something more nefarious, such as corruption or something like that? We've got videos on both of these cases on my YouTube platform, as well as this next case coming up where more people, Tennesseans and others, are being unlawfully arrested for DUIs. Over 600 cases of DUIs on the Tennessee roadways were found to not be drunk. They had no drugs or alcohol in their body, and they were arrested for DUI. This is insane. And it took pulling teeth to get the information from the Tennessee Bureau of Investigations. Just more things that are shining this huge light on the state of Tennessee, saying there has got to be something done with law enforcement and their handling of unjust arrests in the state of Tennessee. So now, this is breaking news as of today. This is a sad case of a 5-year-old autistic boy. His name is Joshua McCoy. His mother went to sleep around 1 p.m. and woke up around 5:30, and around 6:27 p.m. called for service because they could not find their child, Joshua. Well, after intense searching, 4 days later, they did discover Joshua, and he's obviously in grave shape. And so there is an investigation into this information and into this case. Now, I don't know what happened. I don't want to provide an opinion. If you'd like to read or hear about this case, please go over to my YouTube channel. I did do a segment on it this morning. But before we get into the Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers case, and again, you know, this case is bothersome a little bit, and I identify the areas that I've observed that seem problematic, especially how the language that law enforcement is using when discussing this case, and they're very limited on any information. They didn't say they found him in a body of water or anything like that, but one positive thing was that there was a beeline straight from his house, 1.6 miles, and he did have his mother's phone. So we're waiting for more details on this young 5-year-old autistic boy that is now deceased, and just learning a little more about this case. I don't have a lot of answers, but if you do want to get more familiar with this case, again, it is on my YouTube channel. Lastly, this is the one that really bothers me. I mean, the 5-year-old does bother me, but this one here, because we've been talking a lot about corruption and stuff like that, especially when it comes to Tennessee. And here we have a Kentucky judge suspended for using her position to influence cases and other improper conduct. And this judge from the 29th Judicial Circuit actually admitted to doing the things that she was accused of and has been suspended from work for the next 2 weeks. And I feel like hearing the details of this case, I feel like it should have been more than 2 weeks. She used her position to help her daughter's boyfriend and mother in a separated case. She was talking about cases that outside of court with people that had nothing to do with the cases from 2017 to 2021. Just really a whole host of improper conduct from a judge, putting other people at risk over her judgeship, and it should be absolutely denounced. And again, I feel like a 2-week suspension is not good enough in this case. And I just want to point that out. Again, she had been on the bench. She just got reelected on the bench, and now she's suspended. So this is something that I will be looking at. There's not a whole lot more of information, but once she gets back to the bench, she's been forever barred from, she had an attorney, a suspended attorney file an affidavit that she wasn't vindictive, a little crazy, and now she's barred from ever presiding over any case with that suspended attorney ever in the future. So that's kind of your highlight about these cases. So I want to get back to Sebastian Waindrake Rogers. Sebastian Waindrake Rogers is a 15-year-old boy, autistic boy that disappeared from his home in Tennessee, in Hendersonville, Tennessee, and has not been seen or heard from since. His father, Seth Rogers, has been absolutely moving heaven and earth to find out any information about his son or his whereabouts. We just recently did a vigil for Sebastian in Clarksville, Tennessee, this past Saturday. And if you guys haven't seen the vigil, please go over to my YouTube channel where you can see the entire vigil. It's on the video section of my YouTube channel. We did not run this live. And a big shout out to Dog the Bounty Hunter as well as Nick the Hat, trying to bring Sebastian home and bring Sebastian home safely. They have been following a lot of leads from Oregon to New York, and even notifying ports of entry from the Canadian border and a lot of hotels in and around the area. This is super important, because without these two people's help, we would not have the reward that we have today. On August 26th, the FBI decided to provide a reward for any information related to the disappearance of Sebastian Waindrake Rogers. Many of you guys know the FBI never gets involved in these cases other than for resources and supportive measures, yet they're the ones that were able to get a $50,000 reward. And I don't think people quite appreciate how hard it is to get a $50,000 reward from the FBI for a missing child. This is what is really big. But then Dog the Bounty Hunter and Nick the Hat stepped into this case. Nick the Hat being associated with At Night Intelligence Agency, and of course Dog the Bounty Hunter being a world famous bounty hunter of criminals as well as missing people and people on the run. I don't know how many times over the last several years we've heard law enforcement actually reach out to Dog the Bounty Hunter because they had a fugitive on the run and needed help tracking him. I don't know how many countless times we've witnessed over the course of Dog the Bounty Hunter's career of capturing those very convicts that are on the loose or on the run. He's found them. He's tracked them. His team has tracked them. And now we're utilizing those resources and those experiences and all the stuff that he just provides, the resource that having Dog the Bounty Hunter provides, even nationally, bringing awareness to Sebastian Rogers' case. So we're very thankful and pleased for Dog the Bounty Hunter as well as Nick the Hat in this new reward of $175,000. This is a very large reward. coming from the little, $3,000 or $3,500 reward that was offered at the beginning of this case by some local businessmen and women in that community. But now this is a real reward, and we're seeking any and all information related to them. If you have firsthand knowledge of anything that happened or leads to the whereabouts of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, we're asking you to reach out to the Memphis FBI office. The Memphis FBI office. If you have details, third-hand details, or some information you heard along the way, please consider reaching out to 833-TELL-DOG. Now, there are leads coming in. I know personally people have sent me anonymous leads to my personal email that was referred over to Seth Rogers' team, as well as Dog the Bounty Hunter's team to help in this case. A lot of people are still providing information. We've learned that Oregon lead that we heard months ago, I want to say back in early April, we were hearing rumors of this possible sighting of Sebastian's mom and stepfather out in Oregon, and nobody really picked up on it. There was a few people that did, but nobody really followed through with it. And then Crime Time Buzz on YouTube is the one that reached out to law enforcement by FOIA. That's a Freedom of Information Act request to find out if any reports were made out there. And what she found was there were. Somebody actually reported seeing Sebastian Wayne Drake's mother and stepfather in the area of some lake, and I can't remember the lake that they said, and I apologize for that. It's not hitting the top of mind at the moment. Either way, this person thought so much about it, they actually made a police report. So I'm unfamiliar what lead is in New York or that makes them believe to look at the Canadian border, but I can tell you they are turning over every stone and looking at every lead that is called into their office. So if you have provided a lead previously that maybe wasn't taken seriously, maybe it's been on your mind for a while, maybe you haven't heard anything about it, and you want to know if it's being followed through, reach out to 833-TELL-DOG. Let's blow those phones up and give them information to help aid in their search for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. If you have any information, you might be eligible for a $175,000 reward. Who put up the large reward? Honestly, Dog the Bounty Hunter contributed. Dog the Bounty Hunter and Nick the Hat have contributed $125,000 to this reward. They have brought in a whole host of resources for this case, and I can tell you his father can't thank them enough for all of their hard work and what they've been doing for him in his goal of finding his son. Seth Rogers' only goal at this moment is to find any information that will lead to the whereabouts of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers and to bring him home safely. Every passing day that this child is not found, it's a little harder and a little harder. This man, his father, Seth Rogers, had an impassioned message at that vigil, and I hope everybody here on TikTok goes over to my YouTube channel and watches that vigil. I can tell you, being there in person, I had tears rolling down my face. I know people that are watching that vigil online are moved emotionally, and it doesn't even come close to the feeling of being there personally. I hope you all get an opportunity to see the pain and the love and the support for not only Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, but for his father, Seth Rogers, that has been moving heaven and earth to find his son. He wants his son home. He wants everybody out here saying Sebastian's name, keeping Sebastian's name out there and top of mind to everybody across all social media platforms. How do we do it? We do it by tagging Sebastian's name in videos, preparing videos, getting his face out, putting this flyer behind you, and just talking about the details of the case. We all have our opinions about this case. I certainly do. I certainly have done my fact finding to make my assessments. but my assessments is not bringing this child home. My assessments and my condemnation for a sector of people that were around him is not bringing this child home. And what we need to do is bring Sebastian home first. Then we'll deal with all the other stuff afterwards. If you have any information about the whereabouts of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, please reach out to 1-800-TBI-FIND. I prefer people reaching out to the Memphis FBI office. And if you have third-hand, second-hand, third-hand, or just have rumors, please reach out to 833-TELL-DOG so we can find out whether those rumors are nuggets of information that can help bring Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers home. If you've reported a lead to Tennessee TBI, Sumner County, and you have not received anything and it appeared that your lead went nowhere, maybe it's time for you to reach out to 833-TELL-DOG so we know that that has been cataloged and researched thoroughly. I know Dog's team and Nick the Hat's team are working around the clock doing everything they can to find where this boy went. If you have any information, again, reach out to the Memphis FBI office or TBI, 1-800-TBI-FIND, and lastly, 833-TELL-DOG. There's also another number that you can also reach out to if you've seen him, and that's 844-922-3236. If you want to remain anonymous, we'll keep you anonymous, but you have to pick up the phone and let people know what you know. I hope everybody has a wonderful day today. God bless each and every one of you, but please go over there and check out that vigil video. I think it's something everybody needs to see. It's heartfelt. It's prayerful, and it's a vigil of hope. It's a vigil of hope, and I hope you guys have an opportunity to experience it. Anyways, guys, thank you guys so much. If you need to know what my YouTube name is, it's the same as here on TikTok, Bullhorn Betty. I will see you all soon, and God bless.